Yo, let's talk Louis Ferdinand Celine, Journey to the End of the Night. Should you read it? No. You know, there's a lot of people that say that this is an amazing book. There's a lot of people that have recommended that I read it. I'm a big fan of Bukowski, and Bukowski even claims that this is, I think somewhere he claims that this is one of the best books ever written. It is not. I was really extremely disappointed. I expected a lot more. First of all, I expected some kind of plot. That's not to say that there wasn't a plot in Journey to the End of the Night, but it was a loose plot. If you like Henry Miller, Tropic of Cancer, you're probably going to like Journey to the End of the Night by Celine, but I actually didn't like Tropic of Cancer either. One of my friends said Tropic of Cancer was like you have to interpret it as a poem. Well, I want to read a novel, and I want to read a novel with a plot, actually. And Tropic of Cancer, no plot. And the same with Journey to the End of the Night. I felt that there was just the plot wasn't thick enough. It wasn't constructed enough. There was a lot of pointless turns along the journey to the end of the night, and then go over here for a little bit, and then over here for a little bit, and then over here for a little bit, and those little bits are totally irrelevant. I think a lot of people like Journey to the End of the Night for its nihilism, for its... Celine does have this way of expressing things. It's very raw, it's very dark, it's very cynical. It gives you life on a plate of shit, and it tells you that's how it is. And if you like that kind of writing, I can understand why you would like Celine. There were a lot of good quotes in it, but I'll tell you why I didn't like those. And it's down to the way that it starts. And the way that it starts, he's sitting in a cafe, and then he goes to follow a regiment which is marching down the street, and he follows them, and then somehow he gets drafted into the army. The position that he's in the army is not a courageous one. He comes across as a coward, to put it frank. And now, I've never been in the army, don't know how I would act in the army, don't know if I would be a coward in the army. I'm hoping not, because I personally am, even I've forgotten the word now. I'm a champion for bravery. Let's just say like that. I like bravery. I like boldness. I like courage. And I like courageous characters. I like characters and I like people who are not afraid to just march into a situation and put their fear to one side while they do that. And so here we have this character, Celine, and he's discussing everyone in the army being brave around him, and he's discussing the colonel who's riding a horse through all of these bullets and how brave this man is. And as a reader, I am saying, I want to read about that guy. I want to know about that guy. I want to know about the colonel who's riding this horse through the bullets. Not the guy who's sitting in a trench watching him. So from that point forward, everything that Celine had to say for me was greatly devalued because of this display of cowardice at the beginning of the book. Now, I was thinking about this and I thought, well, if it had started a different way, if it had started in a way where Celine would have grabbed my respect, the character Bardamu might have shown some act of bravery, and then I would have thought, oh, okay, this is a courageous guy, and this is the type of person that I want to read about, then I would have respected the whole story which was to come next, and all of the quotes and the literature and the things that he basically said and was trying to tell us through the book. But exactly that, because of this display of cowardice at the beginning, I just disrespected everything else that he had to say, and I couldn't take it to heart because I was constantly thinking, yeah, but at the beginning you were like, you were a coward, so why am I going to listen? And so that was the effect that the whole book had on me, actually. And I feel that I could have taken probably a lot of what he said more seriously, had he been a stronger character in the beginning, because there were some really nice quotes. Like, for example, this one. Sometimes when you think about it years later, you wish you could retrieve the words certain people said and the people themselves, so as to ask them what they were trying to tell you. That's a great line, because that's true, and I've certainly felt that before. And so he's expressed something that resonates with me there, which is great. So I'm not saying that there wasn't fantastic lines in the book. There absolutely was. But the character they were coming from, I just personally didn't like. What else can be said? That's my main point. I think what else can be said is another thing about, like, his sense of humour. I don't think his sense of humour really resonated with me. I didn't laugh once through the book. I watched another reviewer, Better Than Food, say that this book was really funny, and if you read it you were going to laugh. I didn't. I found his sense of humour quite immature. He keeps talking about urinating. He seems to have an obsession with urinating. That's one joke that he's always coming up. Oh, there's like a dog urinating. Or, oh, I could smell the urine from miles away. Or whatever it was. I'm exaggerating a bit, but it's like a recurring theme throughout the book, is the theme of urine. And then just to amp it up, he starts talking about Jesus Christ at one point, and he says, did Jesus Christ go to the toilet in front of everybody? What? I mean, what's the point of that? Why have you said that? Is that a joke? I don't find it funny. I didn't find it funny to keep talking about it. It was okay once or twice, but it seemed to keep coming up. And then there was another line that I liked when he talks about he visits one place as a doctor, and then later on he visits there again, and it's a huge paragraph, so I'm not going to repeat it, but he says about when you return to a place, things have changed. Those things now, they seem shriveled up. They seem older. Maybe it's you, but maybe it really is that, the objects in the room are decaying and die, and everything is dying and slowly fading away. And that was really nice. The way that he's described that, the way that he's picked up on that, in a way that that over time, yes, you go back to places and they're not the same, they've changed, and that's a great thing to express. It's true for all humans. It's true for everybody who's living, that when you go back to a place, the things are different. And he expressed it in a very poetic and beautiful way. There's also one point where one character, and I can't remember which character it is now, because, honestly, like I say, there's no plot, there's no characters that come at the beginning and or maybe there is consistently to the way through. It seems like every changing, the girls are coming and going, and even the plot lines are changing, because at the beginning there's a war, and then it's about womanizing, and then at the end, well, I won't spoil the ending for you, but There's no through. It feels to me like there's no through line. It was just this happened, then 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 this happened. Am I supposed to be following some through line here? You know, do you have a theme of the book? Do you have a point of the book? Do you have an arc? There's no arc. So anyway, one of the characters though, he's a calm character, but he finally loses his temper at the grandmother of this girl that he's dating. He says, "Listening to that flapdoodle made me miserable." Flapdoodle is funny. And then the character goes on to say that he insulted the grandmother, he spoke his mind to the grandmother, he told her what he really thought of the grandmother, and that was great, you see. Now, because I like characters like that, and I think that's brilliant. You know, sometimes I get pissed off with people and I wish that I could just go, this is what I truly think of you. And often I don't, because maybe I'm a coward, or maybe that's just my British manners. But that was cool when we saw the character express what he really thought, his outburst onto this grandmother, and I as a reader went, yes, speak the truth, tell her what you think, really. And I was rooting for that character. So that's all I've got to say, really. Do I think you should read it? No, honestly I don't. There's better books out there that you can read. But I'll divide it into two types of readers just for the sake of saying that, okay, if you like a plot, if you like a character arc, if you like to know that things are going somewhere within the book, I don't think you're going to like it. If you like something that's more poetic, literary, and definitely cynical and nihilistic, and you're not so worried about there being a smooth through line, because it's just going to take you around to various scenes, you might like it. But leave your comments below, and see you in another video.